first episode of The Ride.
We are so excited to be here. We've wanted to do a podcast for so long now. And yeah, now really just felt like the right time. I'm Tanisha.
And I'm Kirsten. And before we dive in, we thought, as two very proud Gamilaroi women and sisters, we would like to acknowledge the First Peoples and original storytellers of this land on which we meet and record to you from today.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to pay our respects to the Yagara and Turrbal people where we're recording this very first episode. We want to pay our respects to them.
Yeah, and we also want to pay our respects to our ancestors and our elders, especially our beautiful Nan and Pop who are out on Guruga. They mean so much to us, and you know, we just wanted to pay our deepest respects and acknowledge their love and their wisdom and their resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. Along with our grandma, our Nan and Pop have really shaped the women that we are today, and we're
definitely
really looking forward to delving into that in a later episode.
Yeah,
so we can't wait to have a yarn about them and tell you how incredible.
We'll tell you some more stories about them.
Yeah, that's it. We got biggest yarns.
Yes, we do.
We also just want to pay our respects and shout out as well to all the mob that are tuning in. We appreciate you being here. This podcast is for you, so what's up?
Yummy.
We're excited for you guys to come along the ride with us. And this very first episode that we're filming here together is purely just an introduction into who we are, what the podcast is about, and what you can expect when you come along this ride with us. But before we do, I guess, delve into that, how are you? What have you been doing? You got any stories to tell? Yeah, how are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited to be here with you, Sissy. I love that we get to, like you said, do this very first episode together. But, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think now, like you said earlier, is the right time for us to be here together doing the damn thing. So,
literally.
Yeah, and stories. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, you got any stories like in the past week or something funny or interesting?
Do you know what's a funny one actually?
Spill.
Ooh, I like that.
Sister Spill.
Spill.
Yeah, I like that.
We should roll with that.
I
like that.
Yeah.
Sister Spill. I've got a good story, I think, actually, on the way up here. My beautiful daughter, Ailua, who I will get into in a little bit. She's this, for anyone that knows Ailua, she's the most happy little girl. And just a social butterfly, really. Yeah. And on the plane ride, as we were landing, you know how there's that silent moment when the plane lands and everyone's like, okay, thank God we made it here safely.
Yeah,
everyone just takes that moment in. She's there, wanted to stand up on the chair. We're row 5.
Right at the front.
Mind you, we have 30 rows behind us. And she's just there yay, everybody, hi! With the little queen wave, she's the queen of the world.
Her too. Oh my God. And it's so funny, you're right, there is that sort of pause, hey, when everyone, the plane touches down, you're all right, I have control of my life again.
Yep, that's
we're
right.
good. I'm back in control, I'm on land. And she's, hi, we made it!
And she's yay, guys, we're here. And
so funny.
Top notch too, super loud. Everyone sort of started laughing and smiling, and I'm just here oh my God, yep, that's my daughter, that's my daughter.
Let's get off the plane.
We're about to get off the plane. But yeah, what about you, sis?
Oh my
Do you have
God.
any funny stories or?
Speaking of airplanes,
really?
I got a good. Oh man, so Mum and Dad actually touched down first. They arrived here the morning before you guys got here. We're driving and Mum just randomly goes, Tanisha, the audiobooks, can you return them? And me and Dad started going, I was like, why would you want to return an audiobook? What's wrong with the audiobook? She said, yeah, I downloaded it on the drive all the way out there, and then when I went to play it, it started playing in another language. So she did.
Oh my goodness, I can't
That's
even.
Typical our mum. If you know our mum,
shock me either.
Yeah. It was just Dad and I just
What language
up.
did she?
I don't even know. I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I said, Mum, what does the title say? So it had the title, of what the actual book was called, which I can't remember at the moment. But underneath it was in another language.
She cracks me up.
And
honestly.
I was like, how did you know? So she was trying to return an audiobook because she got it in the wrong. She's like, can you switch languages? That's what she was asking me to do. I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God,
Mum.
You come to hear more funny stories of her
yeah,
too?
Yeah. We'll have plenty more stories to share about our mum. She's crack up. And
She's
we
a
love
beautiful
her.
woman. We love
The
her,
best
but
stories.
far out, she makes us
And
laugh.
funny ones.
Yes, very, very
Yeah.
funny stories.
That's crack up.
Anyways,
but why don't you tell us
do a
bit
bit of an introduction. I think we should dive into it. So who am I? I'm Kirsten Tarpany. As I mentioned earlier, I'm a very proud Gamilaroi woman. I am a beautiful... Well, my daughter's beautiful. She's my beautiful baby. I'm a mother of a 2-year-old now.
Too.
I'm beautiful too. Thank
Yeah.
you, my sis. Love ya. I'm also a wifey to my beautiful husband, who is the love of my life. We've been together for just over 10 years now, and yeah, the time has flown with him. He's my soulmate, my best friend, all the things. He knows me through and through. But yeah, growing up, we were born in Dubbo, Vegas. Shout out to the Dubbo mob.
Yeah, that's it.
And now I am living on the beautiful Ngunnawal country, so down in Canberra. We spent some time in Newcastle, which I'm sure you'll hear in our stories down the track. Yeah, living down on the Ngunnawal country, where I'm just a mama at the moment, and I'm just really soaking up and enjoying that era of my life, this chapter with my beautiful daughter. I've been on extended maternity leave.
Extended forever.
Keep extending. It might be forever. Who knows? We'll see. But no, in saying that though, for the titles that do better to society, and a part of me too, because I did work really hard for those, I currently hold a position at the University of Canberra as an Associate Director for the Indigenous Leadership and Strategy Office. And yeah, we do some amazing work for our Indigenous students, staff, community, all the things related to mob, so that's a really rewarding career that I've had. And it's funny enough, I actually graduated from that university with a double degree of information technology and commerce as well. So it's pretty cool to just see that story unfold of me being a student, but then, now becoming a staff member and being that alumni. Yeah, just giving back where I can. So I really enjoy that. I also have to mention my 2 fur babies, my beautiful Luna. My
first babies.
Yeah, first babies. Who's a ragdoll cat, and also my beautiful Zalu, who's a German Shepherd dog. They are just sweethearts. They love their mama. They're literally also the heart of our home, and they're just literally by our sides in everything we do. Ilua is a torment to them, and they're patient with her. They put up with her. They put up with her. But it's just been the best, actually, having like pets grow up with my baby. Like, it's just been,
especially when we had that experience of growing up.
We did actually,
pets
Bless.
And how close we were. And I know, Bless.
And then, I think just what else, just me, about me specifically is I'm a Libra, and if you follow star signs, I'm a generator by human design, if you're into that. Growing up, I was definitely a social butterfly. I had friendship groups all over the place, in sport, in school. I loved school as well, which was definitely unlike this one. This girl was never there. But that was due to sporting commitments, but you touched on that.
I didn't want to be there either. So. Didn't want to be there. Always in trouble. Well, I wasn't in trouble. I just was easily distracted.
You just had other things to do, okay? That you like doing.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so I actually love school, hey. Like, I would literally want to come home and set up all my dolls and, like, teach them, like, make out I was a teacher and, like, teach them. Do you remember that? I used to print worksheets.
I remember we used to have, like, printed worksheets at home. Yeah, like school worksheets.
Yeah, hey.
And I used to be like, is this homework? Like, what is this going on?
What are you doing?
Like I used to,
is this
hide
your own
them
choice
I
that you want to do this?
I was like, are you well?
Yeah, and then I think just to also mention, I was on a few boards, which was pretty cool. I was a board director for the National Foundation for Australian Women. I was also on the Healing Foundation. I think it was like a reference group, kind of like a board, but that was pretty cool to be a part of. Yeah. I'm also a fitness fiend. I feel like that's a really big part in my life. And I do need to mention that because, I think I love moving my body. I love celebrating what our bodies can do. And I feel like that's a good time for me to just fill up my cup and have some time, me time. Just to be the best version of myself I can be for my daughter and for my husband and for, a family. And just to wrap it up, I'm so big on self-development. Like all of my 20s, I spent a lot of just time really delving into finding me, finding my identity, and just a lot of unlearning and learning and healing, and T and I are going to speak into that. a lot in later episodes and maybe even part of this episode too. But
it is.
yeah.
I think it is a really big part of your journey and something that I've really admired, you know, witnessing you on that journey as well.
Yeah.
And I know there's, you know, people watching, hopefully our daughters that are going to watch this one day get a lot of insight into, you know what I mean, you taking on that journey and the lessons that you learnt. And because, and that's what I'm excited to talk about as well, just watching you grow like over those years of your life and you just sort of like figuring it out on your own as well. Like, well, you know, there was support around you and, you know, inspiration from other people. Like that was something that you acknowledged within yourself and like, you know, that you wanted to do and you were like, nah, like this is, you know, my journey and I need to take control of it. And that's what I find really inspiring as well. I'm so excited for us to delve into that throughout this podcast. I think, you know, a lot of people are going to get a lot out of this.
A lot for that.
Yeah.
But I feel like let's hear from you now,
Yeah,
sis.
so. To anyone who does already know me, knows that I've been like absolutely batshit crazy since day one. Asked my mum. I had, in a good way, I guess sometimes, and in a not so good way. I had colic as a baby. That's not so good. I had colic, so I was just screaming and crying and just like a horrible child. And as I got older, I was just, you know, hypo, loud, energy, outgoing, would try absolutely anything probably once. But I grew to the point where like mum and dad used to not really like pack snacks in my lunchbox in primary school. It was like, I just remember having like carrot and celery and just trying to trade kids on the playground for like their snacks. I'm like, how can I convince this person to give me their, I don't know, like whatever
sugary food.
Whatever sugary snacks they were for an apple, you know? And I did it because mum and dad said that I used to come home with like little wrappers in my lunchbox, and they would be like, Tanisha, like,
we're trying to help you here.
Relax. I'm just like, let me be me, you know.
Let me be more hypo.
But yeah, I think to combat the craziness, my parents put us into sport from a really young age.
Yeah.
Oh, not really young, but you know, a young age. We grew up doing absolutely everything: athletics, netball, touch football. We played a bit of soccer and hockey and just, you know, anything to like get me out the house and just burning energy. We did that. And I just was fortunate enough to really thrive in that.
Mine thrived. She was a bloody gun at anything she played. She was literally a gun at the most like highest elite levels. Like she played Aussie for like every sport possible.
Yeah, so it was, you know, like netball and touch football. I, you know, played for New South Wales, played for Australia, was lucky enough to be contracted with the Australian Rugby Sevens girls for a couple of years. Played rugby league in a few knockouts, All-Stars, which I loved. So yeah, sport was a huge part of my life growing up and like into my teen years until I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't do it anymore. Nah, it was, which we'll delve into in a later episode, but it was, it really shaped me and my sort of upbringing and not really having so much of like a social life when I was younger, because I was sort of always at sport. And yeah, so did every sport imaginable, you know, made some incredible friends, had some incredible experiences, got to travel the country, got to travel the world as well. And that also led me to working in the media. So at the end of year 12, when I was sort of doing multiple sports at a high level, I got an opportunity with NITV to co-host a grassroots sports show, which I just loved. Like, I'm loud, I'm outgoing, I want attention, I like being in front of the camera.
The spotlight.
Yeah. I like the spotlight. Not so much anymore. Like, I feel like I've changed so much over the years. But when I was like, the last few years, I'm chill now, even though you probably can't tell right now, but I'm more chill. And especially since like having a baby. But I'm trying to find the inner child again because I sort of miss her a little bit. Yeah, so that sort of led me into working in the media and really loving it. Just loving being in front of the camera, loving the new experiences and just learning new things as well, and finding that I did have other talents that were outside of sport and other passions that were outside of sport. So yeah, and then because of sort of that, started working in the media, I thought, you know, why not go to university and do a degree in journalism, which I did. And I think a lot of you know, me going to uni, because I didn't think that was possible. Like straight, I was barely at school for starters. You probably needed an ATAR back then to go to university, which I didn't bother to go for.
We have so much to talk about.
Yeah, and
with
now there's
that
other
too,
avenues
hey?
to obviously get into university without getting an ATAR, and I don't
Yeah.
know what the system is at the moment, but, you know, there were other avenues.
But it was just funny with T's, I don't know, some narratives you had around, you know, I'm not smart enough to go to university, I'm not creative enough to do this, and then like just flipping that on its head and being like, hang on a minute, I'm actually so freaking smart.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
so freaking intelligent, I'm so creative,
absolutely.
I'm so artistic. Like, it's
I
funny
feel
the
like
stories
the
we
creative things
tell.
only come in the last, like, few years.
Yeah,
though.
but like,
even that,
but how
I
you
was-
never had that belief that you weren't that, and it's like, you so bloody are, you know? So I can't wait to talk about that, because that's going to be a special one,
Yeah, me too. So, yeah, and I think as well, going to uni was like watching you do it too, like just seeing like you sort of pave the path and pave that way of like, this is something we can do. Like, and you and mum and dad encouraging me and saying like, you can do this.
Yeah,
like,
you can do that. Yeah.
was, you know, instrumental into me going. And if you didn't go, I probably wouldn't have went, you know, to just see that I could.
And how funny that I chose a degree that is like, has no women, like IT.
Love it. When she
I
did it, I was
diversified
like,
that up.
what? Ew. Like, yeah. No, it's amazing. Now I'm like, that's so, and commerce, right?
Yeah, business.
Business.
Yeah.
Yeah, so deadly. But yeah, we'll chat about that throughout the podcast. And yeah, I guess after going to uni and studying media, I then sort of got opportunities with NRL.com, the ABC. I'm back working with NITV now in a full-time capacity as their Queensland correspondent. I'm also on maternity leave and have extended my maternity leave because I'm just enjoying being a mum so much.
Mother and a wifey.
Yeah, I got married in 2022 to the love of my life, and I feel like he's really broadened my horizons in terms of like other things I can achieve outside of sport, and really thinking about the future, my future, and like where I, you know, want to be professionally. So yeah, we've been married for a few years now, which is crazy because it feels like yesterday.
Yeah, it does actually.
And yeah, I have a beautiful stepson who is just, you know, one of the lights of my life. He has a heart of gold. He is hilarious.
I feel like he's a mini you.
He is. I feel like we get along so well because I do see myself in him as a kid. So I just let him be him, and it's the best. And I've been loving watching him grow over the past. I've probably been in his life about 5 years now, maybe a bit longer, 5 years. Yeah, and he's a big man now. He's about to be a teenager, which scares us. But he's the best big brother as well. I had a daughter in February 2024 who's just absolutely changed my life and my perspective on life. And she's just perfect in like every way imaginable. And I've just loved it. Like while I've loved every moment of being a mum, and I feel like it's really made me slow down and be in the moment and enjoy this chapter of my life with her, it scares the absolute crap out of me. Like, it just really holds a mirror up to yourself and asks a lot of questions of you and who you want to be for yourself and for your family, and you know, for my daughter as well. And that's what I have just been trying to navigate over the past year, I guess, of just like, you know, settling into motherhood and
just riding the highs and lows. Hey.
Riding the highs and lows. I'm telling you, it's going like this. They're high and they're
It's a
low.
bumpy
I'm
ride.
riding. Trust me, I'm riding.
We riding these waves, okay?
Literally. But yeah, I think
Beautiful,
that's me.
sis.
Yeah. Like I said, the hormones, they're riding. The baby brain subsided a little bit.
Not for me.
And yeah, that's Tanisha.
Yeah, beautiful, sis. And I just want to say too, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of the woman and mother like you're stepping up to be. Like, it's been a beautiful, beautiful journey to watch and be a part of. And you know, now I get to be an auntie, and I just love embracing the auntie eras as well. Like, how fun and like
we've been so lucky that you know, because we are so close in age, we're only 15 months apart, that we really, majority of the time, have sort of been in similar seasons of our life. Like, not always. But obviously now we're both, you know, experiencing motherhood together, and it is really special to, you know, have you alongside me along the ride.
Do it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in this together, yeah, for sure. So I think it might be really nice for our listeners to hear why we started this podcast,
Yeah.
you know? I think I'll start first. Like, for me, I feel like it's for our daughters, hey? Like, big time. Like, our
First and
daughters
foremost.
are out there, and future babies whenever they choose
and
to come
other
along.
bubbas.
And other bubbas. But, like, I just think we, you know, they're always watching us. And I hope they are inspired by us, you know, down the track when they're able to understand. But I think when you sort of first mentioned podcast to me, I was like, yes, I've been wanting to do a podcast for so long. I'm like, this is the time is now. And I think, why not? Like, what have we got to lose? You know, we have so much magic to share, you know, on our journeys of being individual women, like trying to navigate, you know, our way in this world, and then becoming mothers and aunties and being daughters and breaking cycles and unlearning and learning and healing, and there's just so much.
Losing loved ones on the way.
Losing loved ones, that's been pretty recent for us. So, and I think, you know, even as wives as well, and bringing our relationships into this down the track might be pretty cool as well to talk about, and how we navigate some things in there. But I also just want to say, before I hand to Eustace on what you're excited about, is I think it's important to understand, like, T and I are just here sharing our, you know, own stories and our own experiences and our truths. And it's completely fine if you don't, you know, agree with every single thing that we say. That's completely fine. You know, you choose to take what lands and leave the rest. Whatever resonates, resonates. So, yeah, if you just keep that respect, we keep that respect. And I think it's really important that we have that.
Absolutely.
In this podcast.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. Like, first and foremost, like Kirst said, like, ditto, this is, you know, for our daughters, our, you know, our children, to just have a sort of time capsule on our experiences and getting to know us at, like, the ages that we are now. And when we were younger, our parents filmed a lot of our childhood. They always had the video camera out. Dad was always behind the camera just capturing Christmases, birthdays, you know, us in the lounge room. And I feel like we also got to know them at the ages they were at, you know, just seeing those interactions of us as little kids and sort of that journey of parenthood for them as well, which was really special.
Their youth and their innocence. And that was really special.
Yeah, and them learning along the way as well.
The different haircuts of Mum.
That's it, different haircuts, different hair colours, bless, different weeks.
Weeks.
But yeah, like, we want to, you know, we hope that our girls, our kids can potentially use this as a blueprint one day to take the lessons out of our experiences and, take what, you know, take what they feel like resonates and leave the rest as well, or learn from our mistakes. I suppose overall we just want it to be an inspiring space where, you know, you can feel seen, you can feel heard, you can feel loved, you can feel valued, and you know, just be who you are, essentially, because we're all put on this earth, this world, to just literally be who we were born to be. Like, forget the competition, forget the comparison. Like, and that's something we've navigated over the years as well, that it's not a competition between us. Like, when we were younger playing sport and, you know, like, through the teenage years, like, it just, something just clicked with us one day to be like, no, like, it's not us against each other, or it's us against the world.
That's right. We ride it together.
That's it.
But yeah, that's right. I agree.
And something I haven't really appreciated about our relationship over the years as well is we've created such a non-judgmental space for one another to come and just share our truths and come and just be ourselves. And that's what we want this space to open up as, a safe space for you to come and feel like you can be, like Kirst said, seen and heard, just and show yourself up as your true self.
Yeah, and just shine in your own way.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, so, oh my God, the ride. So let's...
Yeah, can you tell us
the
about
ride.
the name?
So the name, it honestly, for months, like we said earlier, the podcast has literally been in the
In the
works
works
for
for-
years.
yes.
Well, been talked about for years. It's been in the works for like months now.
Yeah.
But yeah, the name, we were just like, what are we going to call this? Like what? And you know, there was a few names we tossed around that were like, yeah, like it's nice, it looks good, but it just didn't feel like us. And then, so when Kirsten and I were younger, we loved and religiously watched the movie Bad Boys with Will Smith and Martin Lawrence. Like, absolutely loved. Kirsten was obsessed with the sister.
Sid? I think her name was
Yeah,
Sid.
Sid,
Hey,
yeah. It was
Gabrielle
Gabrielle
Union.
Union.
Because even in Bring It On, I loved her.
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
yeah,
So
yeah,
she
yeah.
was just my gal.
So, yeah, and we just loved, yeah.
And
Marcus,
Joe was Will, okay? Joe
and
was
Mike
Will.
Lowry. Yeah.
Mike Lowry.
Larry. I feel like I was so Marcus. when
Yeah, that's
like
so
I
true.
really resonated
That
with like him
energy,
just being
yeah.
silly and stupid and
That's
yeah.
so funny.
who's in my house? But yeah, so
Bad Boys.
we love that movie and like would just, you know, narrate it or whatever, just, you know, word for word. It would be like me and her going back and forth. And we'd always say, and this is just something that's stuck over the years, we always say to each other to this day, just like they do in the movie, we ride together, we die together, sisters for life. Like that was our thing. That just stuck. It was always,
like
you know,
they
ride
said
together.
Bad Boys
Yeah,
for
Bad
life.
Boys for life.
But we
we're
like, ooh, we
sisters
love
for
that.
life.
Sisters
yeah.
for life.
And that was our thing.
Years
and
and years
then,
ago.
so when we were tossing up the name, it just kept coming back to that, like kept coming back to our phrase, we ride together, we die together, sisters for life. That was obviously too long for a podcast name. And then we were like, we ride together.
Maybe a little bit
a bit
long.
long, you know, it didn't look cute. And then we were thinking about ride, and then obviously, like, you know, we're like, let's try and intertwine it obviously in what we're speaking about. And like, it is the ride of life and
Yeah,
the
riding.
ever-changing waves and the ups and the
highs and
downs
lows. Yep.
and the
Yep.
roller coaster of womanhood and motherhood and sisterhood. And it just, yeah, that's how that sort of stuck for us.
Yeah, and it just felt right. And I think that
Yeah.
actually, that leads nicely into what we are going to be speaking about. And
Yeah.
I suppose that is, you know, riding those highs and lows, like T said, of
Yeah.
sisterhood, of motherhood, you know, some other topics we're going to be covering, self-development, our self-growth,
Yeah.
self-love.
I'm really
errors.
excited for you to talk about your journey into becoming a mother as well. And like both of our
Yes, big
journeys into
time.
becoming a mother, because, you know, while we've both had really positive, at times, like experiences, like they've been so different. And like,
So
just like
different.
everyone's experience with motherhood is so different. But I'm really excited for you to share that.
Yeah, I had a really, just a little teaser, I had a really beautiful journey, you know, being pregnant and having, Alua, her first year was absolutely incredible. And but
Yeah.
yeah, like T said, it's different for everyone. There's no how-to guide or one size fits all for each child. That is not how it works, because what worked for Alua did not work for Bear, and what worked for Bear did not work for Alua.
That's it. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
I'm excited about that, of talking about, like, you know, our evolution as mothers.
Yeah.
I guess also, like, just for me, some ones I'm looking forward to, you know, overcoming imposter syndrome. I feel like just we have overcome, I can declare here right now,
Ooh,
we have overcome imposter syndrome by filming this right now and putting it out, because for
Yay.
years it's probably, you know, you think, oh, I can't do that, no one cares what we have to say, blah, 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 blah. You know, but we're here and we're doing it, so I'm excited to talk about that little journey and the evolution of the podcast as well, to like getting here to being like to imposter syndrome.
And just facing your fears, right? Like just putting that aside and like just choosing like love to come into these moments.
That's
and
it.
realize that these moments hold so much magic.
Yeah.
And you know, those ears that it will fall on will be the ears that it's meant to,
for. Yep.
meant to be for. And
Yep.
yeah, I think that's
Absolutely.
what excites me the most too.
Yeah.
And even, just sort of, you know, anything with motherhood, we're going to be sharing, you know, informed parenting. T and I parent a couple of different ways, so we're keen to sort of share that.
Yeah, we do.
Share a bit about our, you know, personal relationships, our financial freedom. Like, there's so much. There's just so many stories of breaking the cycles and, you know.
I'm also really excited for us to talk about our relationship and how
That's gonna be a
it's
massive
grown
one.
over the years, because I know you know, we haven't always been as close as we are now. Like, it's taken a lot of work for us to build the relationship that we have, and we made conscious decisions around, you know what I mean? Like, we're not in competition anymore. Like, you're my sister. You're literally the one person in my family I'm going to live, like, we're going to spend the most time throughout our lives with.
Literally right until we die.
Yeah, literally. Literally. And we all just want to, you know, share about how we got here, because we know that not everyone has that relationship with their sibling at the moment, but probably has the desire to, you know, want to build a better relationship. So yeah, you know, it took time, it takes effort, it doesn't happen overnight, and we still want to break necks and, you know, at times.
Can we do that on camera?
Yeah.
But yeah, to the place we are now it was very different years and years ago. Like, to the point where I did not want my younger sister, like, in and around my life and my friends, and, you know, I didn't want her doing what I was doing.
She didn't want me around.
And even to the point where we had, like, actually, Destiny's Child, that was like
Shout out to Michaela.
shout out to our cousin.
I was Michelle, like me, Michelle. Like,
Michaela reckons she was Beyonce, but
suit me.
I reckon I was Beyonce.
Yeah.
Anyway, might have been
But only
Kelly.
because I was the youngest. So they would pick on me. So I've got an age disadvantage already. They were the same age and they just didn't want me around. But it was always both of our parents were like, take Tanisha. Take her, let her play.
Involve her.
Involve
like,
her.
no, we were so mean. I'm sorry about
But
that,
like, we
sis,
were obviously,
but-
like, when we were young, like, we were so close. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you grow up and you've got little babies and little toddlers, like, we were inseparable.
We were very, very
It was
close
sort of
in
as we got older into, like, you know, sport and doing other things where things at times, and because we're so close in age, came to be a competition. And we also, there was a bit of a divide when we went to different schools. Like, we also, like, you know, went to the same primary schools, but we're in different years, obviously. But then we went to different high schools. So we didn't really see each other. Like, you know what I mean? We didn't see each other that much. Like, you had your friends, I had mine.
Yeah.
We saw each other after school when Kirsten would kick me out of her room. That's about it. Yeah, and then when we got a little bit older, into our adult years, it was like, hey, babe, I love you.
Yeah,
Like,
I know. I'm like, actually, you're my best friend.
yeah, you're my best friend. We just become best friends.
Yep.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to talk about that.
Yeah. It's definitely a bond that can never be broken. So that'll be a really special one too.
Absolutely.
And, you know, please understand, like, I am such a deep person. Like, for anyone that knows me, all my girlfriends know, and definitely Joe, he knows. I've made him become a deep person. Like, I am a deep thinker and speaker. Like, none of this surface level behavior, like, you know, or chit chat. Like,
we're going deep.
yeah, don't come and ask me about the weather, okay? 'Cause,
Literally,
like, what's your trauma? What's going on?
Yeah. Literally.
But that's what the chats are
just
going to
like
be
every
like.
team.
Yeah.
So that's what we, and we want you guys to be involved as well. Like, as much as
Totally.
we're here and, like, yarning between, we want it to feel like the phone calls that we literally have every other day with each other, where we just, you know, yarn. Where we just sit down and have a yarn. And we want you guys to be involved, you know. We want you to engage with the podcast and share and comment and tag us on socials and hashtag the ride. Yeah, we really want to build this community of riders where, like we've said earlier, for you to come here and feel seen and feel safe and feel heard and feel like you're a part of it as well. Like, it's, you know, the journey is less scary when, you know,
do it
you've
together.
got your sisters by your side and you're riding together.
Yeah.
So that's what.
Yeah. I think that ties in nicely, actually, which
Yeah.
falls into our last sort of segment that we were going to put out, actually, which we chose to call the inner ride. So I think when you think of this, sort of, we want to invite you to slow down and deep dive into questions that we're probably going to pose at the end of every episode.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like an inner dialogue to just meet yourself with, you know, radical honesty and, you know, an open heart, and let that inner conversation guide your growth. So I think we might start there, and I might pose the question. Sis, I might ask
what's the
you.
question this
I
week?
might ask you first. On the ride, the question is. Okay. Question is, what's one wave of life you've been riding lately, and how are you staying balanced?
I would, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, actually. I think a tidal wave. A tidal wave?
A tidal wave.
Yeah.
The tsunami coming here.
That's it. That I've been riding lately. And it's something that I mentioned earlier on about me navigating motherhood and really reflecting on the person that I want to be. Like I said earlier, when I said motherhood is really put a mirror up to myself and ask a lot of questions of who I am and who I want to be, not only, for myself, but for my daughter and for my family. And I just honestly don't feel like I am the person, that I want to be. And I know that we're always growing and evolving and throughout our lives. But I don't know, you know what it reminds me of? When I think about it, I picture, the meme of the little kid when they're like playing or something. There's like a photo of a little kid playing, or he's lying in bed relaxing. He's doing nothing. He's just worried about, playing with his toys, playing with her toys, or just relaxing, doing nothing. And it says, me effing around when I should have been buying houses. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm a little bit hard on myself sometimes, and I probably don't give myself enough credit for the things that I maybe have achieved so far and the growth that I, have experienced. But a part of me is just like, why was I stuffing around doing things that probably weren't important when I should have been focusing on other things, that could have put me in a better place, like, internally of like where I am now. For me to feel maybe a bit more like fulfilled or proud of myself, or I'm not saying that I'm not, but I'm just sort of like, I'm just like, am I the person that I want to be today for Bear? No. But, I feel like what's keeping me balanced is just giving myself a little bit of grace.
Yeah.
And you can't know something until you know it. And I feel like me just acknowledging like, okay, it's probably not where I want to be, but I'm heading there and trying to navigate and figure out
the first
ways
step,
to get
right?
there.
Awareness, like having the awareness of that.
Acknowledging it.
And also, second step, like you're here recording a bloody podcast.
That's
like
it.
For you, for your daughters.
Yeah.
So,
And this is something I'm definitely proud of.
That was a beautiful, beautiful share, sis.
Yeah. So that's what my tidal wave is.
Acknowledge you in your feelings. Obviously, I'm going to be your number one hype and be like, bro, you've achieved so much. It's not funny. Like, I still remember little girls like wanting T's autograph. Like when she was just a teenager, like representing, doing the most, doing all the things. Like you've inspired and touched so many hearts, like in your journey this far, and you do have so much to be proud of. But I also, again, want to validate you, and acknowledge you in the feels that you have at the moment, because they're real, they're raw, and they're okay to be had. So I'm excited to see this next journey for you and how you explore this more and become.
And I feel like the
more you and
podcast
the mother.
will do so much for me navigating that.
Totally.
Because it's getting rid of that imposter syndrome that I've had for a little bit. Because I was so sure of myself as a kid. Like so overly confident, incredibly sure of myself. And just over the years, it sort of faded a little bit. Maybe when I've backed off sport and I've had to really find myself outside of sport and something that I'm comfortable with and really confident at, and I'm exploring different parts of me that I haven't mastered just yet. I think that's what it is. But it is like just being here, doing this has definitely, I don't know, just given me the confidence, and just has made me feel a little bit like myself again, which is nice.
Yeah, beautiful.
How about you? What's a wave you're riding?
I feel like you just answered that so good. I'm like, I don't know. Hey. I think mine would just honestly, at the moment, would really relate to just riding the waves. Like for those that followed my journey may know, for those that don't, I am a wifey of a professional rugby league player. My beautiful hubby plays for the Canberra Raiders. So
Captain. He's captain of the Canberra Raiders.
Captain's the Canberra Raiders as of, this year. It's pretty exciting, actually. But I think with that demanding career comes a lot as a wife. Like we, at times literally feel like a solo mama, or even, like hats off to the solo mamas, but also hats off to the mamas that have their partner working away frequently, because it's tough out here. Like it's tough. I'm so grateful for my beautiful support system and my family, his family, my beautiful village, my beautiful friendship groups, they're amazing. But yeah, at times it is tough when Joe's away. And I think, you know, what are we, nearly around...
They've had a pretty hectic schedule
10 or 11,
this year
yeah.
too,
And I think that's probably...
They've been away most of the
what
time.
I was going to say is just riding the waves of him being away. Like I think just a couple of weeks ago, he has traveled like 30,000 kilometers already, and it's only just like the first quarter of the season. So, and you know, not just trips to Sydney and back to, you know, at home games. It's been to Darwin, it's been to Townsville, and you know, NZ, and now Brisbane, and yeah. So I think that's been a bit of a tough gig for me lately, just navigating, you know, times away, and
especially as a mum as well, you know, like it's not, and obviously like it's still tough. You still got to do stuff around the house and like you're working and stuff like that anyways. But like as a parent, like any, you know, parent would understand when it's just sort of you for a little bit. It's like, it's a lot.
It's a lot. And yeah, and like I said earlier, you know, like I love exercising. I love doing these things. It's like, okay, I can't go do my normal class that I would do when Joe's here to watch Bubba for me and take her for the bike rides and do all the dad things. But I need to, you know, we need to come together. We need to have clear communication and we need to talk about, okay, what can I do? How are we going to plan to attack this week and go for walks, go for late walks, go for runs, go on play dates, like different things of changing it up. But that's literally what, you know, keeps me back to being balanced though.
Yeah, and that's why I'm laughing. It was because you're such a person who's like,
scheduled.
Organised. Yeah, you're organised, you're scheduled. So not having, like, obviously you know when the game's going to be, but obviously it's not like, you know, a routine that you can just stick by and like this is
I'm
what
good
it
with
is.
routines.
It's like,
And
like you said, like, you know, any family that has the other partner, the parent working away knows exactly how that feels.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah. So that's probably been my
wave that you've been riding at the moment. How did you say you were feeling balanced?
Yeah, I just think, you know, leaning on that support system I think is really important. Like I'm so grateful that I do have that there, but then also having clear communication, like my beautiful husband.
With
like,
Joe,
Yeah, we could tell, you know, we're about to butt heads. Like it was
at
coming.
the start of the year.
Yes.
Yeah. When there was a lot of travel
going on. There was a lot going on and we just hadn't seen each other. We just weren't able to sort of connect, you know, how we were and like catch up. And he actually like, we had a conversation, he agreed. Then the next time he was away and he was coming home, he had actually booked 2 beautiful date nights that we went on.
That's special.
And like just, you know, the effort, the energy, the thought, like it was just so nice.
And the
because
understanding as well.
Yeah, just the understanding of us, you know, okay, yes, we love being with our baby all the freaking time. Like we love her around, but it was really important for me and him to, you know, go on that date night and just catch up and just have us again, which was just really beautiful. And we oh my God, I would love to talk about what we spoke on that date night because we posed some questions to ourselves that we just really dove deep. And, you know, there were a couple of tears, there was joy, there was laughter and, you know, a lot of cuddles and kisses. And it's just nice to just have those moments. Have those moments. Back and
I love that.
So I think
I do want to delve into that in a later episode as well because what you shared with me was really beautiful and it is important, especially when you got kids, like to put time aside to reconnect with your partner because it's a wild ride. It's wild.
It is.
Yeah, we're really excited for this podcast. I think that, you know, gives you a bit of a gauge of like who we are, what you can expect when you come here, some of the topics we're going to be talking about. Please, like I said, engage with the podcast, engage with our socials, send us in topics that you want us to have a yarn about. Make sure you follow and subscribe. Instagram handle is 3_ and then we ride together. So 3_ we ride together. Leave a comment, share,
follow us, honestly.
Yeah, send us some questions, send us some DMs.
Give us your feedback, give us some messages. Like we would love to, like T said, engage and interact with you as much as possible. Like we said, this is, yes, it's for us, but this is, you know, so much for you guys. And we just want to have fun. We just want to have some fun riding this journey together. Like, you know, we're here for you. We got you. We love you.
Yes.
I've had so much fun today already. I'm so proud of us already.
I know, me too. So much.
Just a moment.
Anyways, if you don't know, now you know. We ride together.
We die together.
Sisters for life. Peace. a wrap. Woo!
You're exactly where we are meant to be.
Have a drink.
Made for this exact moment.
Cheers, love you.
Cheers, love you.
Should we? Let's just shake it out. Shake it up. Shake it up.
Sugar.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, that's not my first cut. Yeah, let's just dance. Ready, go. Welcome to the very first.
Keep watching you. I'm like,
You even nodded too, and I was like, that's
sorry,
the
my bad. How now?
How now? Brown.
What did I need you to do? I don't know. But okay, wait, sorry, dance again. Oh, my leg's actually so dead. Ah! Why do I feel like I played sport my whole life?
Let's go away.
No, I did. I had my nipple days, okay?
Oh, my ankle hurts too. You did. You're a great one.
No, I never got a cramp.
Okay. That was fun. We're happy.
Please work, okay?
Okay, stopping.